Bed and breakfast are the rage these days, but you'd be hard-pressed to find one like the one you're about to visit. Miranda Cohen met a Springfield lady who has a 50-acre B&B wonderland she calls Kelly's Jubilee.
Kelly Marie is living her dream, all while helping others have their sweetest dreams at her bed and breakfast called Kelly's Jubilee in Springfield, Tennessee.
Well, I bought my first house when I was 18, and I think I've just always really loved beautiful things, or, just having an eye for beautiful things, nature, trees, plants, fabrics, and I just started fixing up houses and selling them.
Now this California girl is turning more than 50 acres tucked away in Robertson County into a traveler's paradise.
I always wanted to have a bed and breakfast, but I didn't, when I was young, I didn't think it would happen. I didn't know how that could happen.
But before she could start her own business, she felt she needed some real-life experiences and adventures, including exotic travels, exposure to other cultures, and a prestigious education from a world-renowned culinary school in Paris.
When I was 20, I went to the Cordon Bleu cooking school, and I studied in 28 countries, food and leisure and travel, and I loved traveling and seeing beautiful beds and beautiful architecture.
Kelly's adventurous spirit eventually took her to more than 60 countries, but in the back of her mind, she always wanted to put down roots in the volunteer state.
And we would come to Tennessee and look at farms and just never found really the right fit.
Kelly and her daughter were actually living in Spain when an eclectic property made up of a one-time beverage container museum, an old general store, and a few other unique structures on Old New Cut Road in Springfield came on the market.
I was just kind of in a rut. My friend had sent me a video of this property, and so it was like a 28-hour flight. I flew in and came and looked at it and said, yeah, this is it, this is the place. It must have been a God thing, because it was like I had seen, I've been to 60 countries, I've traveled all over the world, I've seen a lot of beautiful things. That is so unique, and it could be wonderful, it could just be fabulous.
But before it could get to fabulous, Kelly and her small team of friends and family had to get to work.
When we got here, it was in very bad disrepair. So it's taken us 2 years just to get at this point.
Just 45 minutes from Nashville, Kelly's Jubilee is made up of 10 very unique rental units, each with its own story, and each offers guests a very different experience.
And we have a treehouse, which is built in a tree. This is the entrance to the treehouse.
This is the treehouse?
Yeah. It was my favorite space. It overlooks the creek and the jacuzzi, and it's just a really warm space. It's pretty much booked every night. It's got plywood floors. It's very rustic, and people just love it.
And if you need a little more space, there's the luxurious Treehouse Mansion.
So we have a huge area that's next to the treehouse, and we call it the Treehouse Mansion. And so there's 3 stories. We have a lot of bachelorette parties, we have bachelor parties, we have family reunions, we have large groups that will rent that whole space.
And for the hardcore history buff, an authentic Civil War cabin is sure to give you a true taste of the late 1800s without any modern amenities.
We have a Civil War era cabin, There's very minimal electricity, no running. There is a water faucet, but there's no toilet. We put a porta potty out there, and there's a fireplace. We actually just put a heater in. It's very rustic, just minimal. A lot of people really like to just get off grid. It's a beautiful spot. It's right on the creek, and it's amazingly beautiful.
From a spacious modern suite that was once an old general store.
We have a picture of when it was a general store, and so now it's a rental. They took it apart and they put it all back together, and then we went in and we just refurbished it and made it a living space.
To a sturdy structure that was actually ordered and assembled from a catalog.
And then we also have the original homestead, the log cabin that we rent, the first one that was built. I think it was a Sears kit, the log cabin. And so it's probably the best built building here. It's the oldest one. It's all logs put together, and it's really beautiful. It's got 3 bedrooms. And
When was that built? How old is that?
I think it was built in the 50s.
But perhaps the most original structure on the property, and one of the most sought after, is the nautical wonder known as the Ark.
It was originally built to store animals, stuffed animals. It's a really unique space, and we put in a private jacuzzi so that people can just sit out there and look at the stars. And it has beautiful hickory floors.
It's beautiful. You don't want to go home. It's peaceful. Everybody is great. The beds are so comfortable. It's got beautiful views too.
No matter which accommodation her guests choose, Kelly Marie guarantees they will all have a highly individualized experience, and it will be unforgettable.
But Kelly gives it a real personalized touch. You can really feel her warmth, and I mean, she gets involved. A lot of places I go, you never meet the owner. So, I mean, it's those personal touches.
I always ask people to tell me the names, like if they're coming with their spouse or their friend or their mother, their names, and then I write a card to them. I ask if it's any special occasion, birthday, anniversary, honeymoon, whatever, and we decorate for each occasion. If it's a birthday, we put up streamers and cards and cake. I make cakes and flowers, and we put things on the bed. I think initially it's staying in a peculiar place, staying in a treehouse. Initially, that's what the draw is. People are always commenting that they never expected it to be like this. And to come someplace beautiful and to be nurtured and loved and just pampered, this property is a gift from God. So I think that there's a bigger plan, and I don't necessarily know all that it is. I just know that I want to be a blessing to people, and I want to be able to let people come and experience it.